So let's get into the publication without further ado. So again, you can, as far as your theme, you can select the rainbows, kind of traditional with the color schemes that we have here, Africa or autumn. You can also be, utilized really any of these. I find, the best result really with either Africa or autumn or really rainbow works great. So I'll stick with that. The letter size I typically will go with is the 8x5 by 11, specifically if we're, putting in a template or creating a template. It's generally the size that we would create it for. All right, so publications, what I have found is that there are some limitations, I think, on the publication side of the house for our, AI. I wasn't finding the greatest results on some of the, searches that I was creating, which again, I would give most of that credit or blame specifically to myself and the way that I'm prompting. Right, I just got to figure out, I think, a better way to get our AI or model here to understand exactly what we want with the publication. But I was able to get some of our basics included, so we can start to go through that here. And then if you have any questions, right, we can continue to add on. The first thing I wanted to do was to actually have a publication show, all the agents with the written premium, anything that's greater than 100,000, and then of course have it show from highest to lowest. Now, with the publications, a lot of times, we'll actually create like tables or different things. And maybe this is more of a detail, I guess, report that gets placed into a publication and then sent out. Maybe you have a summary table at the top, as far as maybe a chart or two. But a lot of times we'll actually include, like a table or something underneath. Okay, so yeah, so this isn't too bad. Some things I'm noticing, like the KPI is the same for written premium. Maybe you put in the prompt course for not just written premium, but have like earned premium, unearned, and then you can kind of get an idea of what's it's looking like with that. So we'll hop into that as the next prompt here in just a minute. I do see it does provide us a little logo or emblem, if you will. It kind of reminds me of the dark side of the moon a little bit. But anyways, and that's based upon, right, we selected the theme of rainbow. We selected a different theme, right? You would actually get a different kind of background or drop that's being created by the AI itself. So, the prism look, of course, is something that, works well when we're doing a demonstration. But if you did want to have that as a different theme or a different customization, of course, you can go through and make those selections, and it will affect that backdrop.